Hey, I wanted to have a quick talk about a medical condition which is quite interesting in terms of how it's managed, which is strokes. So, what is a stroke? A stroke is when you have a blood clot which gets dislodged and gets stuck in your brain, basically. The clot usually forms somewhere else, like in your heart or in a blood vessel in your neck, and that cuts off the blood supply to your brain and causes it to part of it to die, basically, leaving you with an impairment of your arms or your legs. There is another type of stroke which can also happen, which is a bleed in the brain, which leads to the same thing. Um, but ultimately, what's happening is death of part of the brain, leaving you with a lasting impairment. And over time, with rehabilitation, with physio, you can actually recover some of that function or potentially all of it. It depends on how bad the stroke is and it depends on the patient. But what's really interesting is in terms of how it's managed, it's the risk factors. So, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those are the three main things that are modifiable and are attempted to be modified when we try and manage this. And also smoking and alcohol intake, mostly smoking, but all of these are modifiable things that are to reduce your further risk of a further stroke. So once you've had a stroke already, trying to prevent another one from happening. And so it's fascinating working with stroke patients and seeing this condition and realizing just how harmful poorly controlled diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol can be, the long-term consequences of it. It's incredibly debilitating when someone has a stroke. They go from being fully mobile to not being able to carry out their basic daily activities, being able to wash for themselves, clean for themselves, walk for themselves, things like that. And it happens effectively in an instant. And there is no guarantee that function will return to normal, and in many cases it doesn't. So because of that, it makes you realize how important it is to try and control these things, to have a healthy diet, to try and sleep well, exercise regularly. I just think it's something worth thinking about. And more I'm seeing how these conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, along with smoking and alcohol, how many conditions that they actually cause. Vascular diseases, where people need amputations of their legs. Heart disease, where people have heart attacks and they need stents put into their hearts. Strokes, they all often stem from the same risk factors. So we can all modify this, we can all try and improve our lives to reduce our risk of things like that happening. Definitely felt like it was worth putting this one out there, and let me know what your approach is to trying to make sure that you have a healthy diet.